So that morning, she took them to school and everything. She went back and took Mia to a dentist appointment. Um, and we were just calling each other throughout the morning. And then I got I was,
Well, we took Mia back to school,
yeah,
and that was like around maybe 10 something. And by the time we live out from here, from Uvalde, by the time I got home, yeah, I already had the text that said shooter, but we didn't know if it was inside or
yeah.
outside of the school, because that same morning they had award ceremonies, so there was a lot of people in and out of the school, but we didn't know what was going on. And then he called me right away and said, hey, there's a shooter in the school. So me and my two older sons, we took off to the school to go check things out, to see what was going on. We get there, and of course we see all the SWAT and police and everything. So we parked right there by the funeral home on Pettit Street, and that's when we started waiting to see if we could see the girls, because we have the two girls in the school, and we wanted to see if we can get them out. But at that time it was too much chaos, everybody running around trying to get their kids out. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what room or nothing until one of the funeral home owner, he told us we have some kids inside. So I said, okay, how do we find out if those are our kids? At that time, it's just me and my son, Donovan, and he was on his way from work. And he told us to write our names on a list, and he would check if our kids were inside. And pues no one came out and told us yes or no. And then we heard from somebody else the shooter is in what we call the new building. And I said, oh my God, that's where Mia's classroom is at. And we waited there for about 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and nobody came out to tell us nothing. And he finally got there, and then when he got there, he started asking people the same questions, like, how much longer, when can we see our kids? And I don't know how.
I was asking officers, why are y'all not going in there, or why y'all not doing anything? Why are y'all pointing gun at us? We're trying to figure out what's going on. Can y'all let us know? Well, they couldn't give us any information. I was asking a couple of friends that were in my daughter's class. I know a couple of people, parents that are in my daughter's class, and I was asking around, hey, have you got any news? No, no, no. So I went back to law enforcement, and I was like, hey, can you give me an information? I mean, y'all just standing around, y'all fighting with us parents. We're trying to get our kids, can we get our daughters? Can we get our kids? And they couldn't tell us no information. And I got there about 12:30, I believe. It was already like 1 something when it was already like an hour, I guess, when I finally saw my daughter come out with an officer, and she was covered in blood. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I was yelling for her. I was just trying to get to my daughter. I was trying to get my daughter because I mean, what parent would like to see their child full in blood? There's no word that I can describe that I saw, or what I saw of my child coming out of that school.
Did you see her coming out? Was she being carried by an officer?
She had it was her and another student. An officer was holding her, and the other little boy, and they were just like running, and they put him in a bus, and I was basically fighting with officers because I was trying to yank her out of the bus. I wanted my daughter, and to them it was no if or buts about it. But to me was, I kept telling them, what would you do? I mean, you're law enforcement, but what would you do if you see your daughter the same way I saw my child? Like it wasn't right. I mean, nobody, no parents, no kids, nobody should experience this type of experiment. It's not, I mean, they shouldn't. They shouldn't go through it. Nobody should go through it.
Tell me, when you saw your daughter coming out like that, what was going through your mind?
I didn't know what to think. I was just trying to get to my baby, you know. You know, that's
Our main concern, because she was covered in blood, our main concern was, is she okay? Is she hurt? You're okay? No, you're okay. We were just trying to see what was wrong with her. Why was she? And then we got to the round where the bus was at, to the window, and I started talking to her. Miah, are you okay? And she said, yes, Mom, it's not my blood. I said, okay, Miah, I know you're scared, but give us a minute and we're gonna try to get you out of the bus. But by that time, the bus went around the corner and they told him, go to the Civic Center and you can pick her up. So he went to the Civic Center and I stayed behind waiting for Elena. And the whole time we thought the bus was on the way over there and the bus wasn't there. The bus didn't move from that spot, but since we were still with the whole situation waiting for Elena, we didn't see that the bus was there. My husband called me 3 or 4 or 5 times saying, hey, the bus hasn't shown up. Do you know where to go? And I told him, hey, the bus is still here. I don't know what's going on. And then they evacuated Elena and they told us, go to the Civic Center and you can pick up Elena. Her teacher texted me. And so I was like, okay, I'm headed that way to pick up Elena. When I was on the way to go pick up Elena, the hospital called me and said, hey, we have your daughter. You can come, or someone, you know. So I told him, you go to the hospital, I'll go pick up Elena and we'll meet up. And that's exactly what we did. Whenever I got her, I called him, but he told me that it was so chaotic in there. They weren't letting people in. So I said, okay, I'm coming to my mom's house and I'll wait here and you give me the word when I can go in.
Yeah, when I got there to the hospital, they weren't letting a lot of people in or out. It was just so crowded, so many law enforcement everywhere, you know, and they were just escorting us, giving us the runaround, telling us to go here and they'll give us more information, and to go there and give us more information. And, you know, they should have just let us know, hey, you know, you're gonna wait here for a little bit or anything. You know, they were just they were not giving us no information on any. I mean, I understand y'all can't give any information, but you could tell us, hey, something, you know, your child is here, your child's not here yet, but we're you know,
They were waiting.
Yeah.
we were just waiting. I waited there for about 2-3 hours, something like that.
Yeah, we were waiting for a long time to see that. Well, I got her at 2:15.
I didn't get to see Miah until about.
We still
close
had to
5.
wait. He had to wait in the hospital. I don't know where, but he had to wait until the doctor came out and spoke to him and told him that Miah was okay, but she just had the bullet fragments on her back.
So is that what happened to her?
Yeah.
She has bullet fragments on her back. I mean, I was paranoid. I was panicking. I mean, I don't know what I could say, but I was just freaking out. The doctor, her primary doctor, saw me and he came out and he told me she's fine, she's okay. I saw her. I told her if I see one of y'all that I would tell y'all that she's okay, you know, that she's okay. And I said, all right, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, thank you for giving me a little bit of some type of information. And that's when I kind of went into peace, because I knew my baby was okay. I mean, I knew a lot of kids, you know,
Were missing at the
that
time.
were missing at the time, and I knew my baby was at the hospital, not only safe, but I know she was doing okay.
It took too long to get any
What they
answers
did
or to know if our kids were safe, or, you know, how much longer, or what, or anything in general, just some peace of mind, something.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they
it was
did
too
take
long.
Too long. They took too long for any information.
So once you talked to your daughter, what did she tell you happened inside that classroom?
She told us too much information, too much. She saw too much. She witnessed too much for a kid. At this time, we're just trying to get her help, and she has seen a couple of doctors, and she's spoken to them, and I don't know how. We're just everything sets her off. She's really paranoid. Everything's real jumpy. You know, she just went through a lot. She's just too much that she saw, too much damage to her.
What classroom was she in? Who was teaching her?
Her teacher was Miss Garcia and Miss Mirales. Yeah, both of the teachers were her teachers. Yeah.
So she was in their class.
Yes, she was.
So she saw
Everything. Yeah.
And you mentioned that your daughter, what did she do to like save herself from the other kids?
She was actually trying to help some of her classmates that were with her in the corner. They were on the wall corner somewhere, she said. She was trying to help them, but she kept telling them to be quiet and stuff like that. And
the best thing that she came up with was just to get the blood and put it on her. And
yeah, they did kill one of her friends that was right next to her. And she tried helping her, she said, but she knew she was gone, so she laid in, she said she just got her blood and smeared it over her and pretend she was dead to
save her life.
To save her life, because she was trying to help other little girl, another little boy and another little girl. There was a couple of them. I was like 6, 7 of them that were, but she said that one of her friends that was right next to her, you know, did get killed. So she was trying to, you know, basically went in survivor mode to help herself to get out alive.
I mean, how does that make you feel? I can't even imagine. My heart just breaks to seeing that.
When I saw her and I told her, I said, Miah, how did you even come up with something like that? And she's like, she hasn't really told me much. She just kind of like out of it. But I was thinking in my head, like, how did she manage to do that? Because myself, I think I would panic and I wouldn't know what to do. And we always tell her, like, how did you come up with that? And she just basically says, you know, I had just to try to save my friends and myself. And she, you know, she called 911 and did what she had to do.
So she was actually calling 911 too?
Yeah, she actually took
her teacher's phone.
One of her teacher's phone and got to the phone and was calling. She said she kept saying they're in trouble. The shooter is in her classroom. She was just telling them they're in trouble. Send the police officers. Send the police. And she was just wondering why they weren't getting there fast enough.
What a brave little girl, though, for her to be helping her own friends, to protect them, to save them. You guys makes me so proud of her.
We are. We said, Miah, you're our hero. And she says, no, Mom, and I said, yes, you are, little girl, because if you wouldn't have done what you did, you wouldn't be here today. And she keeps saying, she's real calm, real like, I don't know, she's going through some stuff, so I just give her space. But we have 5 children, and I tell her, look, I don't know, if you wouldn't be here today, we would all be missing you right now. And we're just so happy that she's alive. She's still with us.
You guys feel lucky, blessed? What's the right word for this?
We don't
know.
We don't even know, because we can't say we're blessed, because
this is her second survival. This is the first one when she was 3. She had a tumor. We had to get it removed. She has a cut from stomach to stomach, like wide, where they removed it, and she survived that one pretty good. And then now this, and I tell her, I don't know, Miah, I was like, you were meant to be in this world. I said, you're not.
She's a little fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like I said, we don't know what we can say. Like, we don't know if we're lucky. We don't know if we're blessed. We don't know what words can we say, because
we have our daughter with us, but at the same time, you know, she's not herself. She's not our Miah. After coming back from school from that day, it's not Miah.
She's not the same.
She's, you know, she was really happy on TikTok, dancing all over the house, her and her sister. And now she's scared. She's scared for her life. Anything sets her off. The cats, the dogs will bark, and she'll think, oh, he's here, or, you know, something. So we have to take her home, and she hasn't been going out or anything, just to grandma's and to our house, and that's it.
She's haunted by that.
Yeah. Last night we finally got her to go see the school, and nobody was really there, so she got to enjoy the whole thing and see it, and not enjoy, but just comfort her and have her say her little, goodbyes and whatnot. And then we took her to the little downtown area, and we told her, go ahead, this is no one's here, no one's gonna tell you nothing. So she got a hold of some chalk, and she went and put hearts and rest in peace, and she saw all her little friends, and we stayed there for a good while, and we just let her, whatever she needed to say or whatever she had to, sit there for a minute. We did all that with her last night.
I'm sure it's even more hard because she lost her teachers and then some friends too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard for her.
How can the community help you guys?
Prayers. We're asking for prayers, a lot of prayers. I don't know. She just has to see the doctors and see what we can help her with. As of now, we're trying to get counseling for her, and she's seen several, but she hasn't found one that she's comfortable with. But hopefully soon we can find her one that she's okay, seeing and talking to, and trying to get some just anything, any closure, anything that she can. It's hard for her. It's really hard for her to talk to anybody or to trust anybody.
So whenever the guy was in there, she kind of hid in one corner with her friends?
No, I think what happened was...
class es como dividida, ¿no?
Right.
It's divided, but...
I think what happened when her teacher was blocking the kids, the shooter aimed more that way, and she kind of ran off to the side, she said, her and a couple of others. And then he went into the second room, or that, like you said, divided room, and that's when she got to get the blood and stuff and covered it before he came back into the room. Yeah.
Has she been able to sleep at all? Has she been doing?
She's been
eating.
She's not eating much. Picks here and there. Sleeping is really hard for her. Like I said, we're a big family, so the boys horse playing or anything like that scares her, and it's really hard for the kids. They're not trying to scare her, but my son dropped a cell phone in our living room, and the noise set her off, and she got really upset, and she was scared. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
Stay by her side, like the way you can do it.
Yeah. I sleep with her in the room, and she won't. I keep telling her, I'll stay here until you're comfortable, but just being around the house, easy tasks, like taking a shower, I have to sit in there. If she needs something from her room, she'll tell me, can you go with me? She won't leave around the house by herself.
She'll tell all of us, is one of y'all available to go with me to the room, walk with me to the room, I need something, or she'll tell me, Dad, can you go get the laptop, or can you
anything, she needs her brothers or someone to go help her.
Yeah.
She's it's hard for her, because anything we say, she'll be like, I don't have friends anymore, and we keep telling her, you're gonna make new ones, but it's really hard for her.